Hello, hello. Yes, I am at the garden centre again. Welcome back to a new video. I actually didn't need anything at the garden centre, but Mum needed something, so I thought I would tag along and just see if they've got anything here that's a little bit different, because I'm hoping to get into the kitchen garden today and start planting all of these seedlings and seeds. And I have just spotted these. So cucumbers won't grow in cold weather, and obviously I'm in a subtropical climate, so we are heading into the colder weather now. But these are mini snack cucumbers, and their harvest time is 5 to 7 weeks. So I hopefully will be able to plant these and get quite a good crop before we start getting the really cold weather. So I think I might purchase maybe just 2 of these to kind of give me a really nice sort of succession of cucumbers for hopefully a good maybe 10 to 15 weeks before the really cold weather starts. So I'm just going to purchase 2 of those and we will trial it together and see. It may not work and we might get a cold snap earlier, in which case they will unfortunately die. But yeah, I might pick up these 2, and I have also picked up a few other little seeds and things which I will show you. But I'm going to need both hands for these, and I'll take them back to the trolley, and then I will show you the other little bits that I'm buying today. Alright, so very quickly, just the other little bits that I've picked up. I'm going to get a new rosemary, because I don't think the rosemary I have now is going to make it. It's looking very sad. I also picked up, that's a terrible package, I also picked up these bulbs. I've picked up 2 packets of bulbs, so 8 bulbs in total. I have never grown bulbs before, but it does say, I know they need cold weather, but it does say on the back here that you can just pop them in the crisper for 6 weeks prior to planting, and then that should bring up the flowers. So as it gets closer to spring for me, this would maybe be a little project that we do together, popping them in the crisper and then planting them up. But I will let you know when I do that, in the event you would like to follow along. And I also just picked up some different flower seeds. I really loved how the wildflower seeds that we did a few months back now worked. And so I thought I would just pick up a few little mixes. There's like the pansy mix, and there's this one's probably the one I'm most excited about. This is the Cottage garden mix, and so it's great for pollinators, and it's got all different flowers in there. So fingers crossed they will come up really well and look gorgeous. But that is what I have purchased to date. Mum's just picked up some of these. She loves these portulaca, and particularly in the yellow and white. You can see here on the petals, they're just sort of like the yellow sort of center on the petal, and then the little white edges are really gorgeous, very different. They're just getting in all of their fruit trees here as well. You can see they've got lychee trees. And then down here they've got avocado trees. And then they've actually got in, which I've not seen before, dwarf mango trees, which is quite cool. If you like your mangoes, that would be a great option. Oh, what's this? I don't even know what kind of fruit that is. But yes, they've got all of the different fruits, limes, oranges, mandarins, all the citrus here. They have just got a batch of their mini roses in. So there's this one here, I wanted to mention it. It's the Rose Jewel Baby Pink. And you can see the height here, if my camera, there we go, is 25 centimeters, and they only get about 40 centimeters wide. And they're full sun part shade, and they're brilliant for pots. This is the little tiny roses on them, and I just thought they would be really great if you've got a small space, like if you've just got a balcony or a windowsill, even just a little tiny patio, like if you're in a townhouse and you've got like a small patio area. These could be a gorgeous way, and a very compact way, to add delightful little roses into your garden. You've got new little buds there. It's got quite nice leaves on it. There are thorns, but again, it's the Rose Jewel. Those sort of little mini roses that I was just mentioning also come in this gorgeous orange colour. They don't have much of a scent, but they look like they're very adaptable. As I said, full sun, part shade, so they would go great in a lot of different areas. They have also got a gorgeous display here of the Luxuries. This sort of paler, dusky pink colour, the white, the really deep purple. They do have one like the ones that I've got with the little jewel colour with the ripple of purple around the white. Really gorgeous living bouquets. Alrighty. We have our loot from the garden centre. We're just going to head up, we're going to get these paid for, and then we're going to head home and hopefully get into those garden beds and start getting all the seeds and seedlings in. So I will see you at home. Okay, I am home and I'm finally planting all of the seeds and the little seedlings in the kitchen garden bed. I just want to take you down just to show you what I've done very quickly so far this morning. Everything is just looking gorgeous at the moment. So, you will know if you watched my last video, we installed the worm buffet here. If you're not sure what the worm buffet is and you didn't watch that video, head back over and watch that video, because I don't want to, bore everyone who has seen it by re-explaining it. But we've got the worm buffet in, and I have been using it. Very easy to use. I'm not going to show you inside because that would be gross. But yeah, been popping all my kitchen scraps in there. And so, as you know from that video, this bed here was then a little bit uneven. So what I've done just very quickly is topped up all the soil in here just to kind of even it out, so that it still does slope down a little bit to this corner, but not as noticeably as what it was before. So I've just really quickly topped up the beds. So they're looking all fresh and lovely. And then the next thing I have done, and something I like to do, particularly at the beginning of a season when I'm planting things, is just place them prior to actually putting them in the dirt, and just kind of making sure I've got my positioning right and I'm happy, and I've kind of got a plan in my head about how the season's going to kind of go and the best positioning for everything. So I just sort of really quickly run through my thought process with this. And then we're going to get all these little items into the ground, and I will show you what the end result looks like. So we'll start over here. Well, I'll shade it if I go that side. So in this bed here, what I'm going to put in here is the beetroots. I've got 2 sets of beetroot seedlings, as well as brown onions. I've got some beetroot seeds that I want to start today as well. And then what I'm going to do is also leave a gap, probably sort of here, for the kale. So I grow I think it's the dwarf Scottish kale, I think. I've got seeds for it. I just can't remember exactly off the top of my head. We just haven't reached the temperatures yet for me to plant that out. But given I know I do want to grow that throughout the autumn, winter, I'm going to leave a space for it here, just so I don't have to move any other plants while that's happening. So what I'm going to do is plant the beetroot seedlings along here. And then if I have too many sort of for a straight line along here, I will kind of just zigzag through the middle here. Then at the back here, you can see I've got the pumpkin. I do just want to preface, the pumpkin is very much an experiment. I have never grown pumpkins before in the kitchen garden bed because they get too big. So what I'm hoping, so that is the pumpkin there. This one doesn't say it gets too big, but I just find that hard to believe. So we'll wait and see. I'm going to put that in the corner there, because what I'm hoping to do is actually trail the pumpkin up this post. And then kind of, if I need to, I can kind of go up and over here for the pumpkin. we're just going to see how that goes. If, you know, in a month or two it's getting really sort of wild and unruly, I will just pull it out if it gets to be too much. So the little pumpkin is in that corner there. As I said, the beetroots will go along here and then probably just through this middle section. The beetroot seedlings, I'm going to start on this side here. And then, as I said, there's going to be a gap here for the kale. The brown onions are going to go in the back. They actually get quite a substantial size. You'll know I did grow brown onions recently. I mean, it says 25 to 30 centimeters, but the last batch I grew got much taller than that. And they take quite a number of weeks to grow before you can actually harvest them. So they kind of just need to be in a position where they can kind of sit for a few months, do their thing, and they're sort of not in the way of anything else. They're not blocking sun from anything else. So they'll go into this little corner here. The tomatoes will go into the tomato sort of little cage that I've built. So just to show you the tomatoes. I do try and get the Roma tomatoes. They are my preferred ones. I don't like the really big, the really big tomatoes. And I'm not a huge fan of the cherry tomatoes either. I think the Roma are my favorite. I think they go really well in salads and sandwiches, as well as in cooking. So they're just a bit of an all-rounder for me. So the tomatoes are going to go there. And then I had the little rosemary in a pot here to kind of control the size. It was very unhappy. It was sort of crushed with the straw flowers, and then it just did not like that pot at all. So what I have purchased, you would have seen at the garden centre, was this rosemary here, and I'm just going to pop that in the end. And I'm going to work really hard to keep its size under control. So I'm going to really keep trying to cut it back and just kind of make sure it doesn't become like a huge sort of bush in this area and it makes it difficult to get into the kitchen garden beds. I should have said. And then, as I said before, beetroot seedlings will go along here. I've got these ones here that I've grown before, so I just want to use up those seeds. And then this is the new variety that I got maybe a month or two ago that I've not tried before. So I'm very excited to get those in the ground and kind of just see how they go. So the seeds will go here. The longevity spinach that I was gifted from a friend, I'm going to kind of pop in this space here. I do believe it gets quite tall, but she has sort of said to me that she just tops hers off, like just cuts the tops of them to kind of keep it a manageable size. So I'm going to do the same thing just so that it's not blocking sun from the rest of the bed, but they're going to go in here. I'm still working through the leeks I already had planted, but I have purchased some new leek seedlings here, so I'm just going to sort of pop them around, and that way I've got a nice succession of leeks. As I mentioned at the garden centre, I have actually bought 2 cucumbers. They're the snack size cucumbers. I'll just show you. So it does say harvest is only 5 to 7 weeks. So cucumbers don't generally like the cold weather, and we're in autumn now and we're heading towards winter. We certainly do not get like snow or really cold weather here, but we do get down to like really cold weather in July for us at night time is maybe like 5 degrees Celsius. And there's only a couple of nights that happens, but cucumbers sort of start to struggle a little bit once it starts to get around 15, like below 15 degrees Celsius. So I suspect I've probably got, I'm hoping maybe 8 or 9 weeks before we get those sort of temperatures. So I'm hoping I might get quite a nice little harvest of cucumbers before that happens. So I only bought 2 of those for that reason. We might end up getting an early cold snap, and if we do, I will unfortunately lose these cucumbers, but I just thought it can't hurt to try. And then these are my spring onions. You all know I harvest my spring onions in such a way that I have a continuous sort of harvest from them. They have like a continuous sort of succession. I don't pull them out of the ground. I just sort of cut them off so they grow back. I have purchased just another little punnet of spring onion seedlings here that I'm just going to kind of keep to this end here, because there is another variety of spinach I would like to try in the coming weeks, and I'm kind of keeping this space here for that. So that is my plan. And I'm going to just really start getting into these. I've talked through it all now, so what I'm going to do is just pop you on a time lapse, and then I'm going to start putting all these in, and then I will show you the end result. And there you go. All the little seeds and the seedlings are in. Oh, it feels so good to just get them in. Gosh, I don't know why, but it's sort of been weighing on me. I feel like I feel like I'm late getting everything in, which I'm not. Temperatures have only just started changing, so I'm certainly not late. But it's sort of just, it felt like for the last couple of weeks, I've just really wanted to get out here and I've just not had the opportunity. So I am over the moon that they are all now in. I always think it looks incredible right at the beginning when you've got all of these little seedlings in. I've got the seeds, 2 rows of seeds here. Hopefully they will be sprouting soon. And it all just looks so good, so fresh, and just, yeah, so much loveliness. Fingers crossed over the next couple of weeks we'll get lots of new growth, lots of height, and I will be harvesting some of this shortly. So again, just to quickly sort of give you a bit of a close-up of what I've done. I won't repeat everything, but I just wanted to sort of show you. I did end up popping the little pumpkin here, and because I've never grown pumpkins before, I have just popped its label there. The other thing that I do is kind of take note of the label, and you can kind of see on there that the harvesting is sort of that 10 to 16 weeks, and I will actually pop a reminder in my phone just to kind of give me a ballpark figure of when I should be expecting pumpkins. Otherwise, you know, months will go by, particularly with you know, vegetables like this, like onions or leeks or pumpkins that take so long to kind of produce fruit, or produce vegetables. Months can go by and you start thinking to yourself, when did I plant that? You know, when should I be expecting something? And I know a lot of people will put little labels on the date that they planted them. I don't do that. Most of my crops are pretty straightforward. So beetroots, you can see when beetroots are ready. Tomatoes are the same. Spinach is the same. The leeks, brown onions, cucumbers, it's all, and similar, like the pumpkins and that. I'll be able to really clearly see when vegetables are ready for harvest. But I kind of just like to know, with those longer crops, roughly when I should be expecting fruit. Oh, fruit, I keep saying fruit, honestly, when I should be expecting the vegetables. It just gives me that really good ballpark. So everything is looking really fresh. As I said, pumpkin here, the brown onions, all the little beetroots. And you'll know when we were getting the garden beds all prepped, I've already had a look at all the irrigation to make sure that the beds are getting full coverage. And then all the tomatoes are in. The longevity spinach, oh my goodness, you would have seen, I had to go get a little shovel to get these out. They had developed, so my friend had gifted them to me just from cutting. So she was sort of saying that these bushes actually get quite tall and the tops of them will kind of just flop over. And what she does is just cut that off and then puts it back in the ground. And that's how she kind of gets that continuous crop of longevity spinach. It apparently is super hardy, loves the subtropical climates. It's not 100% pest resistant. I'm assuming grasshoppers and caterpillars will get to it. I'll just have to keep an eye on that. But she did say, yeah, drought hardy, likes full sun, it can go part shade, just a really easy plant for my climate. Sometimes the other varieties of spinach can just be a little bit too sensitive for a subtropical climate. And fingers crossed this will mean I'll be able to grow this through our summer months. So I'm getting some salad leaves throughout summer. So this will be my very first time growing it. So I'm excited to let them get a little bit bigger before I sort of start harvesting. I think what I'll do is just harvest the younger leaves because obviously they're a bit softer. She did say the longevity spinach has quite a strong flavor. So I think adding it into, you know, a really mixed salad or stews, things like that, that will be kind of where it fits in my recipes. Rosemary. The little leeks, my cucumbers, fingers crossed we get a harvest before we start to get that really cold weather, and my spring onions. So it is all looking so good, and I've still got some crops to go. As I said, I want to pop in the Okinawa spinach in here, and then once we get some cooler temperatures I want to get the kale and everything going in there. And then we should hopefully have a really great crop over the next sort of, I'd say probably the next 5 to 6 months before we sort of get into the spring season, and then I'll kind of pop different things in. But oh, I'm so happy about all of it. I feel so good getting it in. I cannot describe to you. It was, yeah, starting to sort of weigh on me a little bit that the weeks were just going by and I wasn't getting that opportunity. So very, very happy to have everything in. And if there are anyone watching, honestly, cannot even speak now. If there's anyone watching who also grows their own vegetables, you will know once you get all the little seeds and seedlings in, that is when the continuous work starts. So now that this is in, it basically means a couple of times a week, I just need to come out here, make sure I'm keeping things, you know, cut back, I'm fertilizing, watering, staking things if they need the extra supports, monitoring for pests. So yeah, we'll be doing all of that fun stuff together. We will all be learning together. So if there are any new beginner gardeners, it would be great to be able to learn together. I'm by no means, you know, I'm very much a beginner gardener. I've only been doing this for a few years. I learn new things every single season. I make lots of mistakes. I have some great successes. And yeah, just learning every season. I get to learn something new. So really looking forward to that. All right, well, I am going to say goodbye. We actually have quite the adorable little guest coming to stay for a few weeks actually, and so I kind of just want to start getting some things ready this afternoon for her arrival. And in the next video, I will introduce you, and I'm sure she will be coming along for all of our adventures in the garden, and just yeah, I'm very excited, very adorable. So, until my next video, I hope you're having an amazing time. I hope you enjoy your weekend. I hope you have been well, and thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.